You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Maron After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Maron After Show.
Hello, Maron fans. Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV's Maron After Show. Talking about Season 2, Episode 13, the season finale, Desert Road Trip. I'm Matt Lieberman, and the whole panel's here this week. JB Zimmerman's here. Hello. Steve Kaufmann's here.
Good to see you guys.
And the bad boy of indie comedy, Jesse Klein, is here.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm just going to say right off the bat, I think this is my favorite episode of the show.
It was such a
Mine
fun
too.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely this season.
Yeah.
You gotta go out on a high note.
You got to go
Yeah,
out
this
on
is
that note.
yeah.
I like just like established characters from the show that they like established earlier in the season, and then like seeing them play together in a sandbox.
Yeah, you know, like he has such great rapport with Andy Kindler and with Dave Anthony, and even with Eddie Pepitone, who like isn't an established player in this universe.
Yeah.
I'm actually really bummed that he died because he fit in so well.
He really
Yeah,
did.
he had such a fun character, Stu Carbone.
God,
Very
Carbone.
anti-sconces.
Yeah, so anti-sconce. Actually, I want to go around. Does anyone on this panel know what a sconce is?
I could guess.
A sconce is like a wall light that kind of projects light upward.
Okay.
It's like it looks like a glass thing. They're usually like seashell shaped or like just kind of like a piece of terracotta. They're just kind of rounded outward and the light goes up, sometimes up and down.
See, I think a sconce is like a breakfast thing that you can get. You can have it like
That's a scone.
That is a scone.
I think a scone is a type of light that you would use to, or maybe I have that disease where you mix sconce and scone.
Yeah. Oh, you have Scones
crap.
disease?
I have scones disease. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the more you know. I'm glad we cleared that up.
Sure. me too.
Yeah,
Really.
but it was a really fun episode. I liked seeing all these guys play together, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember where it was. And maybe it was on I think it might have been on a live episode of WTF where Dave Anthony was one of the panelists. I think it was the one from Bumbershoot or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know, the way we work in this writer's room, you know, he's just kind of like, you know, like we may not get another shot, let's just do it. And I think that this was like an episode like that where it's just like, you know, let's just have fun and have these guys together and have them face death together and how the three of them would react to it.
Yeah.
And also have Mark on the show face this moment that I imagine you know happened to Mark in real life, maybe before or right around when he got offered to do this show, which was like, oh man, like I've reached like a level of success now.
I don't
Can
have
I
to
start
fight.
right? Can I
Yeah,
start
like-
to relax?
Yeah.
That's a rough place because
It
you
is.
can't ever think you settle down because then you'll just get complacent.
Yeah. You can't let go of that hunger.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of this episode was about, was Mark, because I mean the episode begins with him getting a car and him talking about how he doesn't feel like he deserves a car. So it's not like Mark was complacent, even though it's what
It's deserving.
they
He
think,
felt like he didn't deserve a car.
yeah, and that he didn't really think he'd accomplished anything, and it's like him convincing himself. I got named Comedian of the Year. My podcast was named Podcast of the Year. I'm doing
Right.
Charlie Rose.
But it's like it's not even like a super nice car. It's a Nissan Altima.
Nissan Altima.
Yeah.
And
I'm surprised he
The
didn't.
vanilla ice cream of cars.
Although-
Yeah, vanilla.
although one of my favorite tropes in the Maron series, him having a huge existential crisis to a complete stranger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Who
it's-
has to listen to him?
Yeah. Also, I mean, if he gets the new car, I mean, one of the big themes of this season was Mark having to get rides from people and then not having a car of his own.
Right, yeah. How does he not have a car of his own
I think
in
he has
LA?
a car of his
Like,
own.
it's
He just gets
impossible.
rides from
He
you.
has had a car of his own.
He just chooses not to
He
drive.
just chooses not to drive. Maybe this will change his mind.
The Altima is what turns it
yeah,
around.
yeah.
Got it.
Getting
Altima
that-
spins them wheels.
Getting that sweet
Oh, yeah.
Alti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, like, he had like a Honda Insight before, which, like, I mean, I
That's
don't
a
know.
nice car.
I would argue it's a pretty nice car. Like a Nissan Altima isn't that much of an upgrade, is it?
It's a lateral.
Lateral move,
I think it's a.
slightly more
Yeah,
luxurious.
Depending on who would
going
like to
up.
sponsor
More
our
space.
show.
Yeah, I think it's going up. You get a Altima. I think that's nice.
Bumping up to the
It's a
full
nice
size.
saloon.
From,
It's a nice saloon.
It's a
A
saloon.
nice saloon car.
Okay.
4-door saloon.
A Paul Saloon.
Paul Saloon.
Yeah.
Rick
That's
James.
a Paul Zaloom joke for anyone
I
who knows
know.
who Paul Zaloom is. All right. So Mark goes to the pet store and he runs into an old comedy not friend.
Pete.
Acquaintance.
Yeah, Pete, an old
Yeah.
comedy
Yeah.
acquaintance who is retired from comedy and is bitter and is now running a pet store and is
Yeah.
insulted that Mark would think that he's not running this store, that he might be working there.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you what? Just because you're so successful? Like, I saw your piece in Rolling Stone, or was that Stu who said
Well,
that?
Stu said
Stu
that.
said
Yeah.
that he was just talking about him as the
Yeah.
other stuff.
Yeah, he's like, oh, do you have that spa, like that special cat food?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, but I could order it. Oh, you're still kind of some kind of fancy man.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a little highbrow for
I'll get
this
my
store,
assistant.
but-
I'll get my assistant to pick it up for
Oh,
me.
your assistant.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll just pick it up.
Yeah.
It's more of an intern
It
anyways.
is an intern.
Yeah.
It's like an intern. Yeah.
So he leaves the pet store. He goes to this like battle of the open micers or something.
Yeah.
Some kind of thing with Dave and Andy. Speaking of Andy Kindler, real quick, did any of you guys listen to his keynote speech from Montreal?
This year?
Yeah.
No, I did not hear it this
It's
year.
really funny.
Is it good?
It's good.
Andy Kindler does a keynote speech every year from Just for Laughs, or is the Montreal? I think it's Just for Laughs.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Just for Laughs, and he does like the state of comedy
Yeah.
as a keynote speech where he basically just roasts every comedian and like what's popular in comedy, and it's amazing.
He had
It's-
he had a solid 10 minutes on Anthony from Opie and Anthony.
Oh, yeah.
Only 10?
Well, I
yeah.
mean, maybe more. It was like an hour-long thing, and when things aren't working, my favorite parts of it were just when things weren't working.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of like, this is it.
That's
Just these are
That's
the
his-
jokes,
that's-
guys.
That's Andy Kindler. Andy Kindler thrives on losing an audience.
Yeah.
That's where he lives. Is he just does like corny jokes to lose an audience, and then turns them around with his genius.
Right.
Like that's where he lives. So like this entire episode where he's trying to finish
This
a joke,
terrible joke.
a joke that
Oh,
Stu
that's
wrote.
so
Yeah.
good.
Is basically like how Andy Kindler like writes jokes. Is he just comes up with like the corniest lines, and
You know what would be a good trick? Having me come at the same time as my wife and not way before.
yeah. Which is just an Andy Kindler joke. It's
And
great.
not way before is what sells
yeah,
that
yeah.
joke.
And not way before.
Not way before.
Yeah. Well, seeing everyone, including Eddie, who like really lives, like his style is kind of like making fun of a road comedian.
Yeah.
Because when you look at Eddie Pepitone,
He looks
and
like a
you
road
hear
guy.
his voice,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this guy's gonna be all dick jokes.
Yeah.
And he's not. He's like, they call him the bitter Buddha. He's like, he's really like he really like explores feelings and emotions and like the pain of being an older comedian.
Yeah.
And like just being on the side while all of his friends have made it big. Like he explores all of that kind of stuff in his comedy. And so for having him play this character is basically Eddie Pepitone playing a joke version of himself.
Yeah.
And then Dave Anthony's Dave Anthony.
Dave Anthony
He's a
is
force of
just
nature.
awful.
He's just a force of nature. A force of really gross nature.
Oh yeah. I got a lot of his porn. He's got a great collection
Oh,
of
God.
black guy, black guy, black guy, white MILF.
How many guys?
Not
Not
enough.
enough.
Yeah. So Stu, comes over to Mark. He's like, yeah, why haven't you had me on the podcast? I sent you that email. Mark's like blowing him off. And you know, the other guys are like, take pity on him. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's go out to Canner's with him. He's getting his bomber jacket. It's going to be cool for another 5 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, bomber jackets.
Yeah.
I think bomber jackets are still cool.
They're still cool if they fit you right.
If they fit you right. If you don't look like a 12-year-old boy.
Exactly. In a bomber jacket.
Yeah.
And you know, Mark's just kind of past it. He's
Yeah.
working on his going
It's
on Charlie Rose.
He's got to get a jacket.
It's
for
a
Charlie
big deal.
Rose.
Somewhere between Kermit and like Yasser Arafat.
Yeah.
Or,
I love
just
it.
a world
He
leader.
interviews world leaders and,
And
Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, Andy Kindler giving a compliment insult.
yeah.
I'm sure he interviews other people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
No,
he does.
those two.
No,
every night.
those sets.
Somewhere in between.
Yeah, just want to rattle off the list of guests for the week. This Monday we will be having former President Bill Clinton,
Sure.
followed on Tuesday by Kermit the Frog.
Okay.
Kermit the Frog will be returning for a retrospective on his previous appearances on Wednesday.
Sure. Bum Ki Moon.
Followed by Bum Ki Moon.
Sure.
And then Yasser Arafat. And then Friday will be Kermit the Frog discussing
Doing an impression of Bill Clinton.
doing an impression of Bill Clinton, talking about the events in Gaza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Magic.
But yeah,
This is-
Kermit's a regular
This
on
is
that
the
show.
oddest after show that has ever existed.
The one we're doing right now is probably the most
It's
grounded
the most
we've had.
tame we've
Yeah,
had
this
in
is
a long
actually
time.
rather.
Yeah.
We've been
Yeah.
gone a bit
Now,
heavy yet.
Steve, you have been watching, keeping an eye on the chat roll
Yes,
for
I
those
have.
people who are watching us live here on
All
AfterBuzz
the-
TV.
Yeah.
If for those of you who aren't aware, people can watch us live at AfterBuzzTV.com.
Literally
can.
AfterBuzzTV.com, and you click the thing that says Marin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see what you're listening and or watching to right now while we're doing it live.
So what's going on?
What
What's
are,
going
what
on
are
in the
people
chat
saying?
rolls?
More Charlie Rose bits. I just read that.
More Charlie.
More Charlie Rose.
More Charlie Rose.
I wish I had prepared my Charlie Rose impression.
I have my Kermit the Frog. I'm gonna break that out later.
Yeah. Nothing.
Jesse, you should read that one.
What was it? I mean, there's someone who wants us to take all our shirts off.
I mean,
All of your shirts.
ask and you shall receive.
Not even your secret shirts.
Not even my secret shirt. Well, if I can't take off my secret shirts, then what's the point?
Yeah.
I
guess.
mean,
Yeah.
True story.
Mark interviews Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah.
And which actually is a great episode of WTF.
Yeah, it is a really good episode.
Yeah. And Johnny brings a gun into the garage.
Yeah,
Like
how
one of
long
these.
ago was that episode out?
It was like February or March,
yeah.
maybe. Yeah, it was to promote Bad Grandpa. Well, actually,
Yeah.
no. So then it was like October of last
Yeah, I
year.
think it was like October, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because Bad Grandpa was Christmas.
No, it was October.
no, it was
Was it
It
October?
was before
It
Christmas.
was October. Yeah.
I bet,
Pre-Christmas?
yeah.
Yeah.
Would you think that was just going to compete with all the Christmas movies?
No, I was dating a girl at the time who really wanted to see Bad Grandpa, and I was like, ugh.
Are you thinking of Bad Santa?
Bad Grandpa's actually
No, I'm
pretty
thinking
good.
of Bad Grandpa.
Bad
Yeah.
Grandpa was one of two things I got wrong on my most recent Oscar pool.
Really?
I thought it should.
Really?
I thought it was
Best
going to win
makeup?
Best Makeup.
because it had to fool so many real people.
Yeah, like it was the best
supporting
makeup that
Also,
year.
Best Supporting Actress.
Yeah.
Yes,
For Maggie Gyllenhaal.
yes.
Yeah.
Who was in Bad Grandpa? You
Yeah.
didn't. She was that good.
That's the makeup.
Yeah,
That's the makeup
she
right
was
there.
she was the little kid.
Yeah.
She was-
She was
That's the
kid.
real.
She is in
That is
everything,
the
guys.
So Andy and Dave come up to Mark's house and they're like, "Hey, so we need to go check in on Stu. We'd been
Yeah.
texting since Canner's, and all of a sudden he stopped texting. And like we had actually set up some things for him that actually might go well, and he didn't show up."
It's like Dave had set him up with his manager.
He's like, "Really? You were
doing something.
nice for someone else?"
Nah, I just wanted to annoy my manager.
You know, he didn't show up, and he's living out in Redlands, which
It's an 80-minute drive
just
to
80
Hollywood.
minutes
80
to
minutes.
Hollywood for
Just
your
a-
audition.
90
you-
minutes. I'm in the room.
Yeah, boom.
Yeah.
That's.
Oh boy.
I mean, number one, that's dreaming.
horrible.
It's
Yeah.
it's 80 minutes from the Valley to Hollywood.
Well, but
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that's
80
what they're.
minutes
No, but I
without
think that's what
traffic.
they're
Yeah.
saying is that Redlands is so far away that the time to make it to your auditions in Hollywood is the same. Like that's the comparison they're making. I don't know if their geography is right. But I've had people say that before, that like people who live really far out and work in Los Angeles, They're like, if I have to be there at 9 a.m., it just won't happen. But if I have to be there at 11 a.m., I can get there, no traffic.
Okay.
Oh, Steve Kaufmann.
Calabasas folk.
I like a man who knows his times of when to drive places.
I know.
Oh.
Steve, what if I want to make it to LAX from Van Nuys, California?
20 minutes to an hour.
Whoa!
Hey.
Somebody knows some times and distances. What time of day should he make that trip?
Late at night, if you could.
Otherwise,
Late at night.
stuff late at night. Ooh, crab
Calm down,
hands.
calm down.
So,
I feel like that's an episode of the Californians, like that SNL skit.
Yeah,
yeah,
Just take
pretty
a left
much.
on San Vicente.
You take
Yeah,
the
sure.
5 to the tower.
yeah.
That's all I have for
All right.
Californians.
Okay.
My
We did it.
Californian accent's not very good.
So they pile into, I assume, Andy's car.
Yeah.
Which, like, it occurred to me halfway through the episode. I'm
Why
like,
did they use
he
Mark's
got a
car?
new car.
I know, right?
Yeah. And it felt like,
I feel it was the
Break
urgency.
it in.
I
Do a
think-
little christening.
I think Andy, his character in this was so in love with the idea of a road trip.
Oh, man.
Like, I think he, like, packed that car with snacks, was, like, really excited. There was probably, like, I Spy checklists
But they
in
didn't
there.
pack it with snacks because they stopped by a gas station or a 7-Eleven.
Oh, you don't think Dave Anthony ate through all the snacks
Oh,
within the first
that's
20
a
minutes?
deleted scene.
He ate
That's
through them
true.
all before they got
That's
to
true.
Mark's.
Before they got the marks.
And
yeah,
then
exactly.
he drank 4 quarts of sports drink.
Yeah.
Sports
And
drink.
pissed in the back because he's a
Yeah.
piss ninja.
Yeah, you can
He
never
is.
hear him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll just be sleeping and it's like you'll wake up and be covered in piss. How did I not feel it? I was a
Yeah.
piss ninja.
At least I'm not dead.
It's true.
From a real ninja.
Yeah. Oh man. And
Be a little damp.
the way Dave was describing Stu's dead body, cock
my-
in hand,
Cold cock.
Oh,
in hand.
man.
cold limp cock in hand.
His juices dripping on the floor. Oh my god.
I was-
just like belt.
Belt
Is
around
the
his
word
neck.
I
It
forgot.
was-
Yeah.
It was
For,
that
for a little bit, the word belt left my brain.
Ugh.
I couldn't come up with the word belt.
It was that morbid talk that made me want to want them to just not find him.
Yeah.
Like just the whole thing was just them driving around looking for his house.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like with Johnny Knoxville, they kind of set up that suicide was going to be a theme because that's what Johnny Knoxville was talking about.
Yeah,
was like
right.
that he would, like he didn't think he would make it past 30. He thought he'd be dead, and he's like, well, Mark, you probably had a similar kind of experience where you thought you'd probably kill yourself if you didn't make it, and like I think there's like something to that where it is like comedians and artists in general like get so passionate about what they're doing that if they can't continue doing it, like it is kind of like a choice that people have to make.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very, I just, what I love about it is it's so incredibly raw and it is grounded in a real fear.
Yeah.
You know, that no matter how successful you get, one day you could still be
In that trailer.
that guy dead in that trailer. I mean,
Yeah.
you, not to like give anything away, but like at the end, when it turns out that this, mystical black man that he's talking to
Sure.
is actually Isaac from the Love Boat,
Yeah.
and other notable roles.
What notable
course.
roles?
That's.
Oh.
Did he say other notable roles?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that was the
Yeah.
other roles.
But
I
like that's the
understand.
thing is, no matter how successful you get, you could still wind up in a trailer in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Just
80 minutes to
80
Hollywood.
minutes away from Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy though. I mean, how do you measure success? I feel like even when Mark
Money.
is
Money.
Yeah, just
doing
money.
that, you're right.
Money.
But I
money
mean,
and broads.
money and broads.
How much money's in broads you
exactly.
got?
broads and
but is there
cocaine.
ever enough of both those things?
No.
Exactly.
No, there's not.
Well, yeah, I mean, Mark at this stage is in magazines.
Yeah.
He's on talk shows.
I would say Mark is successful only in the fact that he can do what he loves and live comfortably. I mean, he's got a house. He's got a car. He gets to do the thing that he loves and is passionate about. He talks about it when he's talking to Isaac from the Love Boat about like the sick thing that comedians have where it's like they have to do it.
Yeah.
And they have to be there, and that they know that a very reasonable outcome, and a lot of them will end up dead in that trailer by themselves.
Yep.
And
Dave Anthony definitely will.
oh, Dave Anthony's gonna have like 1 billion kids.
Oh,
He's
he
gonna
probably
end up-
has already
Yeah, he
does,
probably
yeah.
he already does, but he's
He
gonna like
is
he's gonna
delivering
be
more.
married to like a stripper.
I was just listening to a WTF with one of Dave Anthony's ex-girlfriends,
Which one?
Karen Kilgariff.
Oh yeah.
yeah. So that was that. Just I was like, oh, someone dated him.
Yeah.
And by the way,
like
guys,
wanted to.
Ted Lang was on Celebrity Fit Club.
Ooh.
Isaac from the. He also did Ask Isaac on. Oh, that's just an advice column.
He also did a character named Blade.
Where are you?
What?
Where are
He
you
was
on this?
Blade?
No, a
You
character
Blade?
named
Like-
Blade.
Oh,
Okay.
in what?
So not the vampire hunter.
No.
He's so
the
Isaac is
Daywalker,
not
if
the
you will.
Daywalker. Yes,
Oh no,
exactly.
he was,
He
in
was
a
Henry Watson
in a film named Blade.
in 1973.
in Blade.
1973 version.
Oh, okay.
1973
So back
Blade.
when Blade was still white.
Was Blade ever white?
Blade was white with
Really?
blonde hair.
I don't
didn't
know which
that.
Blade this is. Wikipedia doesn't have a link for it.
I didn't know there was so many
Wikipedia doesn't
You
have a
talking
link for
about
it.
the
I don't
Daywalker
know.
Blade?
Yeah, the Daywalker,
that-
Blade.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, so one thing I kind of want to bring up, and I don't know if you guys are aware of this idea. I first heard it from Miles Stroff, name drop.
Yeah.
Not even
what?
really, but
Let's talk about
No,
Miles
that's a
Stroh.
name drop.
so he talked about something called the Big Five.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this episode reminded me of it. It's that all great art is about one of the big 5 things that affect all people.
Yeah.
And that's it's sex, religion, politics, social interactions, and death.
Yeah.
And that all great art is about one or more of those things. So, like, I love that. Of course, he wound up being dead, and then having to really face the reality of like Andy's like, he's my age.
Yeah.
That's gotta be so scary. I mean, I don't know about you. The first like death of a peer
Yeah.
is the most like confusing thing, because it's just sort of like, this isn't supposed to be happening yet.
Yeah.
Like, you know, whether it's through disease or accident or suicide, or it's like it changes how you view yourself and how you view everyone around you.
Yeah. It's the
Right.
same thing with marriage or having a kid. Mm-hmm. Like those are also things that like when your peers start doing that, you're like, oh man, what am I
doing?
doing?
Am I okay?
I just wrote something called Fart Submarine.
Yeah.
Is that?
I just watched 2 episodes of Bang Bus and didn't even take out my dick. I just watched it.
For the story?
For the story.
I just
There's a
wanted to
story?
see what she would do when she got dropped off.
Where's she going?
Where's she
the
going?
thrift store?
You could go anywhere.
Go anywhere in the Bang Bus.
It's the bus.
It's the bus.
Yeah. Ooh, the live audience really likes that.
Yeah.
Hey, live audience. Delmont, get them more orange wedges.
Yeah,
Thank you.
No, Delmont, the orange wedges. It's right above you.
Yeah.
He's
Delmont.
not looking.
He's not
Things
looking.
are really looking up for Sapphire. Oh, she got on the ball.
Oh, Sapphire.
We'll check in with Sapphire in a
Later.
bit. Yeah.
Love her as a guest.
Yeah. So after they discover that Stu's dead, first of all, Dave goes into the trailer. It's open. And he just walks in, and he's like in there for like a solid like 15 seconds, and they're like, "Dave, what's going on in there, man?" He's like, "Nothing good."
Commercial break.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And they get in there, and he's dead. He's hunched over. He was in the middle of writing a joke.
Yeah.
And it's like, I hate magicians.
Magicians.
You know what would be a good trick?
No,
No
punchline.
punchline.
No punchline.
So like all of Stu's jokes.
Yeah. You know what would be a good trick?
And then
You know what I hate about lines at the bus stop?
that's your punchline is starting a new setup.
That is my tight 5. It's all
it's all
setups.
setups.
My
15
new
setups.
hour is just going to be all setups.
Setups. Yeah, just a setup.
And then one punchline that
No.
pays off on
Nope,
it. No,
it's the setups tour.
it's just
your,
the setup.
your final joke is like, let's see what else is going on in the news, and then it's black out
Yeah.
the audience applauding.
No, they won't.
Politely.
I'll be in the audience. I'll applaud.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dave is like eating his food.
Yeah.
The-
Vacuum sealed, man. A skin counts as a vacuum
Yeah.
seal.
Oh, man.
But then he eats the,
the
entire
skin,
grape.
yeah.
So he
Well,
eats the
like-
seal.
I don't think he was thinking that one through.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care about death germs.
I think he's.
No.
And Andy is spending the entire time trying to complete the joke and just doing Andy Kindler style
Andy Kindler
jokes.
trying to complete that
And
joke.
I mean, at one point, Mark actually offers one up.
Yeah.
And it's actually a pretty solid.
Well, it's a Marc Maron style joke.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what would be a good trick? Getting my dad to notice me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
crushing.
Marc Maron.
that's fits his point of view.
Yeah.
That's his style.
And Dave puts on his long underwear
And his jacket.
and his jacket.
his bomber jacket
His
that he was
bomber
so
jacket.
excited about the night before.
Yeah.
And then he dials 911.
Yeah.
And they're like, it'll take 45 minutes.
45 minutes? What, are you serious?
Well, it's not a life or death situation.
What? Oh, okay,
It's
I
just
guess
a
I
death
get
situation.
that.
It's
Yeah.
literally
straight up
yeah,
a death
just-
situation.
And they have to hang out because they have to give their statements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually know something a little bit about this where I had a friend who lived in Portland, and part of his job was moving dead bodies from houses. And what they do to move dead bodies from houses is like they have paint vans. Like vans that have like painting company names on the logos, so it doesn't bum people out that
wow.
they're moving dead bodies. So like if there isn't an investigation on the body, or like they don't need to give a statement, they just go and they bring the bodies and put them in the back of a paint van and then bring those to the morgue.
That sounds
That's-
incredibly
Whoa.
corrupt.
Yeah,
You're gonna
right?
bum me. I'm gonna be bummed out every time I see a paint van
Yeah.
now.
Oh man, that paint
So, like,
van's just filled with
really?
bodies.
So like if you see a paint van and it's like 11 o'clock at night when no one's painting.
what? There's no night
a nice
painting?
thing.
There's no
But what
night
if-
painting.
But what if it's a well-lit room?
No, it's a dead body.
Oh man.
Yeah.
This broadcast is brought to you by Stanton Brothers Night Painters.
Exactly.
Do you want shoddy workmanship? Do you like interesting color patterns and paint patterns?
Guaranteed to paint that shadow right off the wall.
Yep. So why don't you come on down to Stanton Brothers Night Painting, where we'll paint at night and you can enjoy the results at night.
Hours 11 to 7.
Do you think their paint has a lifetime guarantee?
Your paint has a lifetime guarantee at
Unless,
night.
It has,
but
it has a nighttime guarantee.
but once you're dead, we don't guarantee it.
We don't guarantee it.
Yeah.
Only when you're alive at night.
Stanton Brothers paint.
We'll
Also,
also
if
take
you-
your bodies away.
But also, we'll take care of bodies.
Also, we do that too.
Yeah.
paint doesn't have a warranty while you're asleep.
Nope.
You know, it's good business. You know, they're already traveling doing that. You know, it's a good business practice.
Yeah.
There also aren't paint supplies in those vans. It's a front. Like, it's so people aren't bummed out seeing vans that say, like, dead body inside.
Well,
Like-
we'll stop saying that on the van. You could just.
Hey, Tony,
Maybe like coroner
come on.
or
You could just
something?
be a van,
that
an
not-
unmarked van.
People are gonna be really bummed out if they
Could
see
be
that we're
an-
moving these bodies.
We'll just
Yeah,
do
I feel
paint.
like-
What are we
I
gonna
feel like
put on the van?
Oh, we'll use one of our shell companies. I don't know. A front, see, a masquerade.
It's just, well, have you ever seen a coroner marked car? Like, think about how many people
In
die.
movies.
Think about how many people die every day in Los Angeles. You haven't seen one body being moved.
Right. It just seems like a lot of extra work for when they could.
Well,
like
sometimes
you
an
said,
ambulance
just go
come-
with a unmarked van.
It depends on the situation.
An
Sometimes an
ambulance
ambulance
will-
will come and get you.
Yeah, sometimes an ambulance will. An
I just
ambulance?
thought about how many people die every day in Los Angeles.
Millions.
Just
This is a
seeing a lot of
real.
paint.
Not
trucks.
millions.
Millions of people die every
Not
day.
millions.
I guarantee you at least 17 million people die every day in Los Angeles.
Uh-huh.
Just in Los Angeles?
17 to 25 million people die
Yeah.
every day in
a good
Los
stat.
Angeles.
So-
Keep saying
Take
that,
that to the
people were. I
bank.
don't think you understand what it means.
So
Yeah,
Dave throws in Mark's face. He's like, you know, you've become a big shot. You never do anything for us.
Yeah.
You know, you've never talked to Conan's bookers about me. He's like, I don't have like some kind of like magic connections. He's like, yes, you do.
It's called being a friend.
Yeah, it's called being a friend.
I mean,
I
is,
mean,
is the Mark of that show really at a place where you could just.
I don't know. Well, that's the thing. Is like, I feel
and
like
then,
they.
but then who does he do it for?
I feel like they jump him up in terms of like popularity every couple of episodes.
Yeah.
Like he's talking about how he's gotten #1 podcast 3 years running. When in the pilot he says, "I'm going to do a podcast."
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Also, I mean, we see at the end of the episode just like the simple matter of having someone on his podcast will like probably double your like
Yeah, that's
listenership and like people who know about you, at least if they think you're funny,
Yeah.
they think you're interesting, they're more likely to listen to you.
Yeah, and they tell Mark, Stu opened for the Rat Pack. I know. And it was Sammy who got him started on cocaine. He's like, oh man.
Should I have him?
he should have wrote that in his email.
Don't jinx him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jinxed.
By the way-
Triple jinxed.
By the way, 165 people a day.
165 million people die in Los
No,
Angeles
just
every day.
165 people.
Million people.
No, not a million. Just
Man.
regular 165.
And what is the
million.
population of Los Angeles?
a number? 8 million, I think.
That seems like a low amount.
Yeah, that's like peanuts.
12?
That's small potatoes.
That's,
8 million is
listeners,
is a lot more people
if
than you
you're
think.
listening to this, get on it. Only 165 people dying a day.
Yeah.
It's
3.85 actually.
It said
Wow, that's a lot
only
less than
it said 22 from cancer every day.
Yeah, 42 from coronary heart disease. It's the #1 leading cause of death in Los Angeles. While we're having a downer podcast, guys,
Yeah,
Right.
let's get some stats in
Well,
there.
I mean, it's
The more you
interesting to
know.
think about.
yeah.
Yeah. So
That actually, I feel invincible. I'm gonna
Right?
speed home.
yeah, why not?
I really like those numbers.
Like those are good odds.
Those are great
Those
odds.
are great odds.
Never tell me the odds.
That's less than 1%.
yeah.
Yeah.
165 out
Like
of
1%
under
is
4
like
million, yeah.
3,850 people.
But
Yeah.
that's every day, though.
Yeah.
So you have
Or is it 38,000? 38,000 is 1%.
Yeah.
So it's not even 1/10%.
Yeah. Guys, we are not as unique as
It's
we
not
thought we
even
were.
100%.
Matt is doing so much. You guys can't see this,
In the
but
video,
it's
literally-
I'm
it's
very
like the
impressed.
beautiful mind is happening right now in front of Matt.
just seeing all the
doing so
numbers.
much
and
It's
math.
actually, it's just under like 1/2 of a hundredth of a percent. So it's really, it's like
Thousand?
like
I'd
yeah.
love to see like the
It's a
long
thousandth of a
division.
percent.
I know, but
around
it's
your
going
head.
on right now.
5,000ths
Carry
of
the
a percent.
one.
a 5,000th of a percent.
5,000ths of 1%.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Okay.
Steve Lemieux.
On point
Good
with
call.
the soundboard. Yeah.
That was an excellent Mugachi.
Delmont, what do you
Yeah.
what do you think about death, Delmont? Oh, he's
Delmont, no.
he's lethargic.
I've never,
9/11 times 1,000.
Wow.
great movie.
Great movie.
Yeah.
All right, so they kind of break off. Andy's not really helpful in this argument.
Yeah.
And Mark is walking at night, and then all of a sudden, a stranger calls out from a campfire.
Hey there.
Or from a trash fire.
Yeah, trash fire.
Very different.
Come warm your hands by this trash
By
fire.
this here trash fire.
Oh,
I don't
it's
know
just-
why we're making him southern.
Just diapers.
Yeah, we're just burning diapers.
Boining diapers.
Boining
Burning
di-
diapers.
We're just boining
Now we
diapers.
don't know what we is.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of like, yeah, man. Stu's daddy's like, oh man, Stu was funny. He always made me laugh. And Mark's like, yeah, he was a funny guy. And he's like, do you love what you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is basically this. I think is kind of the thesis statement, maybe of the season or of the episode.
Because Mark was talking about how he doesn't have a wife and he doesn't
Yeah.
have kids, and he feels like, I think he feels like society is pressuring him to have that by age 50.
Right.
And I think the argument that Isaac from the Love Boat is saying is that basically Mark's version of wife and kids is his podcast and his stand-up, and that he has something he loves, and the fact that he has that doesn't mean he's alone. It means that he has something, and that maybe he doesn't have a wife and kids, but he still has something that he can put that type of energy into.
Very well said.
Yeah.
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 Anyone else have anything to say? JB?
Also, I'm writing a sketch
I
called
mean-
Fart Submarine.
I saw the first draft. It was
Yes,
wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
really fun.
the way it sort of ended was on a good note. It sort of like wrapped it up like what is important. But still, like we were talking about a lot in this season, I wanted a little bit more from Mark and his character. I wanted to see that escalation of his career. I mean, we
Yeah.
got sort of a
It
taste.
kind of just happened in the background.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Which
I mean, they
It's kind of
touched on
how
it
it
in the beginning.
happens in real life. I'd find.
Yeah, because I don't know. I mean, I understand your point there, because but I prefer this where it's far more about his existential crisis of like he is getting what he wants, but he doesn't feel any different, or maybe he's just fooling himself.
Never want to be part of a club that would have him as a member.
Yeah, exactly. Woody Allen.
Groucho Marx. Woody Allen quoting Groucho Marx.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Right. I mean, I get the point where it's like, what is important? Obviously, with his friend dying, writing a joke, it's sort of like that isn't. What's
they never
important.
finished the joke.
Exactly.
I know that was
exactly. I mean, even if he wrote something that was great, it wouldn't matter. And whereas his friend,
I think
with
it's
the pet store.
I think it's not about finishing the joke. It's about the fact that he had that joke and that he was writing it. Excuse me for the burp. In general, like I think it's the act of writing the joke that means that Stu was still hungry, even though he was still in this like terrible place. He was in the middle of nowhere. He still had that hunger, and I think that Stu might have felt like maybe he did wish for a little bit more fame. He wanted Mark to help him out, but he's still out there. He still has that hunger, and like maybe that's all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Like maybe that's all that needs to happen. We're gonna end
With
this.
that,
I mean-
and black on black on black,
black on black,
white male
white
porn,
male porn.
obviously.
Not enough.
Not
man.
enough guys.
Not enough guys.
And you could get on Maron's podcast.
Yeah,
though.
Maron got his
That'd be
vinyl
nice.
collection with some Sabbath.
Yeah, get
That's-
some Sabbath.
Yeah.
Stu was a Sabbathman.
Great.
Yeah.
So Mark comes back to town. He goes to the pet store to pick up his food, and he asks the guy to do him a favor.
Guys, Pete's still being salty towards him.
Yeah, Pete was actually, I felt like, kind of
Well,
nicer.
he was. Hey, this
It's
took
like,
me.
hey, it's not, yeah.
Yeah.
It took me a lot of calls, but then like Mark's like, I'm sorry if it was a problem. He's like, it wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
He's like, can you do me a favor? And he has him on the podcast, and the guy talks about how happy he is with his kids,
Yeah.
and his wife, and that this life, even though he wasn't successful at comedy, it is the fulfilling life that he deserves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in a sense, he said that he did finally find his audience. I mean,
Yeah.
granted,
Yeah.
it was a little bit smaller.
Because it's a child.
Pun
children.
intended.
Well, Steve and I were actually talking about this earlier today, where it's like for comedians, it's an old man's game. Like if you think about all of your favorite comedians, they don't really hit it big until their mid 30s, 40s. Like that's really when you start kind of hitting your stride, and so like Mark's there, like all of these people are there, and it's so it is kind of being a comedian is kind of for being a sad old guy.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is.
Yeah.
Men of a certain age.
Man of
Yes.
oh, what a great show.
Great show.
Really?
Yeah, I really liked
I didn't watch it. I'm not
I
gonna.
it's
enjoyed
a
it.
great
It was really
show.
well done.
I think
Really well done.
I think we should
show.
all start saying that because I
You know what?
don't think anyone watched it.
You know who
Yeah.
I loved on it?
Who'd you-
Raymond.
Oh, yeah. All right. On that
Tony
note,
Shalhoub was on that. I
on
think.
that note, I mean, we don't know if the show is going to get another season. I'd hope so. Was
Me
it?
too.
If only we had a laptop at the desk.
Yeah, I don't think that it got renewed, or at least not yet.
I'll figure out that I meant renewed.
Yeah. Anything? No, I don't think so.
How's Sapphire doing?
He's just looking at.
Oh, how is Sapphire?
Sapphire, how you doing, sweetheart?
She hasn't come out of the bus, guys.
Come
Sapphire,
out of the
come
bus,
out of the bus. Sapphire,
Sapphire.
she's
You're-
shaking.
You're done. You're done, Sapphire. The cameras are off.
Yeah, Sapphire, put down the white bread.
Sapphire,
She's eating a whole loaf of white bread.
put down Delmont.
She's got Delmont. No, Delmont,
do
no.
not.
Delmont, do not do that to her.
No. Oh, Delmont's in trouble. It's like we're ending this with some sort of hanger of cliffs.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Sweet.
That was a joke, guys.
Let's do shout-outs. JB, where can people find you?
You guys can find me at JB_Zimmerman.
Steve.
You guys can find me at Steve Kaufmann, Kaufmann. I also host Suits here.
All right, and Jesse.
Yeah, you can find me at Twitter and Instagram at JessKlein1. You can also find me on the Defiance podcast and
Halt and Catch Fire, the
Halt and
finale.
Catch Fire finale coming up this Tuesday.
Yeah. And you can find me on Twitter at Matt Lieberman, MattLieberman. You can also find all my videos for SourceFed and SourceFed Nerd on YouTube. And I'm on a bunch of shows here. I'm not going to list them all. Thank you guys for a great season. Good night.
Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.